Have you been questioning your value in the past few weeks? Most likely since June 19th, to be precise. Now I ask this because Chiron has been messing with us for a couple weeks and it just went retrograde today. And I feel like this one is really important to mention, okay, because Chiron basically moved into Taurus, then was like, I'm going retrograde! Like, basically immediately after. But what does this mean for ya? Chiron it's kind of more of like a silent placement here. It shows us a wound that keeps repeating itself in our lives over and over again, even when we think we cleared it out of our system. And when it's in Taurus, that wound moves through self-worth, money, stability, all of these Taurus-coded things. But it entered Taurus June 19. Now it's retrograde, and it's gonna go back into Aries on September 17. So we only had a tiny preview of this new wound before being dragged back to an old one, which is probably why you feel like you're like recycling some weird emotions from like that you thought you dealt with from the past. So pay attention to anything that's made you question your value. Have you been feeling financially unsafe? Have you been attaching your value to being like super attractive, productive, valuable at work, all of these little things? Are you clinging to something because the idea of losing it might make you feel like you have nothing? And because retrogrades for whatever placement or planet, it makes us look inwards, it's a good time to ask ourselves, why do we still feel unsafe from within? Now, because Chiron is heading back into Aries, it's telling us that this wound has some very serious Aries-coded things. So maybe this fear that's like circling around stability, safety, money, security, it probably began because you had to keep fighting for yourself. Maybe you learned that taking up space was dangerous. Maybe you kind of learned with bad experiences that your needs made you difficult, selfish, or too much. And so Taurus is going to show us where we don't feel safe, but Aries here is going to show us where we stop trusting ourselves. So it's kind of more of a quiet transit, but it's really allowing us to tap into a little bit more shadow work. And it's the first Chiron and Taurus placement that we're going to be experiencing, or we have for years. So I'd be paying attention to what's kind of surfacing, especially since mid-June. It's the wound. It's the wound that Chiron's trying to make you realize. And with the retrograde and everything, we're kind of going to be able to see where it started. But for the next few days, really, I would recommend writing down what just pops up into your mind if you had these kinds of wounds, because it's basically going to be pointing to the source in the next few days, and you're going to be able to heal that super fast.